Welcome back. I'm Luna with the International School of Forecasting. We've spent 2 episodes building the foundation: why calendars are inherently imperfect compromises, and how the Gregorian calendar evolved through trial and error to become remarkably accurate at tracking solar seasons. Now we need to address the elephant in the room. You've probably seen videos claiming that a 13-month calendar is the natural calendar, that it was deliberately hidden from humanity by those in power, that it aligns perfectly with natural cycles, and that using it would improve our health and reconnect us with cosmic rhythms. Let's look at what's actually true. Chinese calendar. This also uses 12 lunar months plus intercalary lunar months as needed. Each month is 29 or 30 days, the actual length of a lunar cycle, not 28 days. Result? Stays aligned with both solar seasons and lunar phases. Ethiopian calendar. This has 12 months of 30 days each, plus a 13th month called Pagume with 5 or 6 days. This is a solar calendar, not a lunar one. It works because it's not pretending to track the moon. These systems work because they use real lunar cycles and add full lunar months when necessary. They don't use arbitrary 28-day chunks that don't correspond to anything. In the early 20th century, there was actually a serious attempt to adopt a 13-month calendar. It was called the International Fixed Calendar, and it was exactly what modern promoters describe: 13 months of 28 days each, plus 1 or 2 extra days. This calendar was proposed in 1923 by the League of Nations. It had genuine support, particularly from businessmen like George Eastman of Kodak. The appeal was practical: predictable accounting, fixed work weeks, simplified financial calculations. Kodak actually used this calendar internally for decades. But the International Fixed Calendar failed to be adopted globally. Why? Religious rejection. The 7-day week is sacred in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The Sabbath falls on every 7th day. Adding a blank day that doesn't belong to any week would break the continuous 7-day cycle. Jewish leaders were particularly vocal in opposition. The Sabbath could end up falling on different weekdays each year, potentially landing on workdays. Drift from cycles. The calendar drifted from both solar seasons and lunar phases. It didn't actually track anything natural. Political disputes. Where does the extra day go? Is it a workday? A holiday? Countries couldn't agree. Entrenchment. The Gregorian calendar was already entrenched globally. Switching would be catastrophically expensive. Contracts, legal systems, agricultural schedules, religious observances, everything would need to change. By the 1930s, the momentum died. The calendar was abandoned. This wasn't because of a conspiracy to suppress natural knowledge. It was because the calendar didn't actually solve the problems it claimed to solve, and it created new problems by disrupting deeply held religious and cultural practices. Let's address the claim that the number 13 was deliberately demonized to hide the truth about the 13-month calendar. It's true that 13 is considered unlucky in many Western cultures. Buildings skip the 13th floor. Friday the 13th is considered unlucky. This is real. But the idea that this is a deliberate conspiracy to suppress a 13-month calendar? That's reading way too much into it. Superstitions around 13 have complex origins involving Norse mythology, Christian traditions around the Last Supper, 13 people at the table, and various cultural associations. These evolved over centuries through folklore and cultural transmission, not through coordinated suppression campaigns. And here's the thing. Many cultures don't consider 13 unlucky. In some Mesoamerican traditions, it's sacred. In Chinese culture, it's neutral. The idea that 13 is universally demonized is itself a Western-centric myth. The number 13 holds different meanings in different cultural contexts. Treating it as universally suppressed ignores the diversity of human cultures. I'm spending so much time on this because the 13-month calendar myth is incredibly persistent. It sounds good. It feels like hidden knowledge. The math is elegant. The claims about health and natural alignment are appealing. But when you actually examine the claims, when you look at real lunar cycles, real biological data, real calendar history,
they fall apart. The 13-month, 28-day calendar is an elegant mathematical pattern that solves nothing. It doesn't track the solar year properly, it doesn't track the lunar cycle properly, it doesn't improve health, and it won't be adopted because it creates more problems than it solves. Now, if someone wants to use a 13-month, 28-day calendar for personal organization, fine. If it helps you structure your year in a way that feels meaningful, great. Use whatever system works for you. But claiming it's the natural calendar? No. Claiming it was suppressed by those in power? No evidence. Claiming it improves health? Absolutely not. There's no scientific support for that. The real lesson here is about critical thinking. When you hear a claim that sounds revolutionary and hidden, ask, what's the actual evidence? Does the math check out when you dig deeper? Are there alternative explanations that are simpler? Who benefits from promoting this claim? The 13-month calendar myth is no one except content creators who get views for making dramatic claims. It doesn't help you understand time better. It doesn't improve your health. It just obscures the actually fascinating history of how humans have grappled with the problem of coordinating solar and lunar cycles. In episode 4, we're going to look more closely at the health claims, the biological connections to lunar cycles, and what science actually says about whether calendar systems affect our well-being. Thanks for listening. I'm Luna, and I'll see you in episode 4.